listening to the Nerdy Reads podcast, a hipster goblin media production.
Hello to all our friends from the Nerdverse. Welcome to the Nerdy Reads podcast. We read nerdy stuff such as sci-fi and fantasy books, comics, manga, and horror. We also discuss all other nerd things from around the globe. And today we will be diving in to the book Vengeful, which is a sequel to Vicious. Does it live up to its predecessor? Will this book be a beloved offering like Batman Returns or Terminator 2? Or will it be an unfortunate sequel like Jaws Revenge or Spider-Man 3? We will share our thoughts on this and more a little later in the show. And today is episode 54, and we are excited to step in to the New Stuff Cafe for a wasteland-themed item and discussion. We're going to have some nerdy news, and we will have a Manga Madness. I am one of your hosts, Justin, and with me is my brother from another mother and fellow host, Robert. What's up, bro?
Justin, what's going on? As always, I'm excited to be here for another episode of the Nerdy Reads podcast. And speaking of great sequels, Aliens to Alien. We left that one out. Definitely Jaws. I don't know if there's a good Jaws movie outside of the first one. Spider-Man 3, definitely trash. But we have a very special guest here today. He is a co-host of the Optic Blast broadcast. It's Dylan.
Wow. Thanks for the introduction, but the disrespect on Spider-Man 3 is just I can't do that. First of all, the sequel to Spider-Man was Spider-Man 2, which is the greatest superhero movie of all time. Okay. So that is a sequel, not Spider-Man 3. But
it's still a sequel.
Spider-Man 3 is still good.
It's still a sequel.
You all can hate all you want. Spider-Man 3 is phenomenal.
Robert, you got a question for I think it's special, right? It's just for Dylan.
Yeah, dude, this one's just for Dylan, fellow Swiftie. What up? New Taylor Swift album dropped this week, Dylan. What is your favorite song off the Tortured Poets department?
My favorite song? Listen. I didn't listen to a single song off that album. Anything post-Red is hot garbage.
Whoa, that is a hot take. Hold on, bro. Is Folklore after Red? I don't know the chronological release. Folklore is her best album. Oh, no, we can't do this. This ain't this podcast.
No.
Let's go.
All right.
I have not actually listened to the album, and I don't plan on it.
It is her best album since Folklore. It's good. I can't believe you. I can't believe you don't. Oh my God.
All right, let's get into some book happenings. Hey, for college senior Nana Opofo, an unconventional book club inside one of the nation's largest jails has transformed her career ambitions. Each week, the 22-year-old drives a van of her DePaul University peers to Cook County Jail to discuss books with inmates and recently the well-known activist Sister Helen Prejean. Opofo comes prepared with thought-provoking questions to launch the conversations at the Chicago jail about the most recent books that they've been reading together. One book club rule is clear. Discussions about personal lives are encouraged, but no questions are permitted about why other members are in jail. She says that's just part of the dehumanizing people. You want people to tell you their story and have their own autonomy about it. Opofo said, when you go to jail when you go in with an open mind, you see how similar people are to you. Now, this is a really, really cool thing. They read a lot of books together with them. And I thought the coolest part about this story was that so many of these students who are going to this jail and have been a part of this have changed their career paths for their schooling. Once their schooling is done, it has drawn them to this population, and they want to try to go in and continue to encourage people who are in jail and help them with this. And a lot of the prison inmates, we're going to post this article in the Discord, but I thought this was cool because a lot of the inmates are making plans to attend college themselves once they get out and do some different things because of this book club. So I thought that was really, really cool. Going to post this in our Discord so you can have a chance to check that out as well. Actually, one of the authors of the book club book is actually making an appearance at the last book club for the book. So I just think all that stuff is really, really cool. And today we're just sharing a bunch of really good feeling stories for sure.
I love it, dude. That sounds awesome. It is cozy. It made me warm inside.
I actually got something to kind of add to that. So I was going to save this for nerdy news, but with those feel-good stories, I figured I'd go ahead and talk about it now. So with us being resident Southern Indiana, Kentuckiana, that kind of area, at least most of, well, Justin is a little up north, but, close enough. So I actually wanted to talk about the Jack Harlow Foundation, which I know you guys probably are like, where's this going? But actually, they are partnering in honor of Independent Bookstore Day. They're partnering with Carmichael Bookstore, which is in Louisville. It's been around since about 1978. And so all their book purchases that will be made this weekend and online, you can donate. They'll be donating $5 of that to Educational Justice, which is like a nonprofit organization that helps educate people in Louisville through like tutor programs and mentorships and things like that. So shout out to those guys.
Dude, first off, Jack Harlow, that's my guy. Okay, dude. Louisville dude. For one, I support anybody that's a Louisville dude. Not only do I support people who are from Louisville, I support people who represent it and then they give back to the community. Jack Harlow gives back to the community, dude. Do I like his music? I mean, I'm not necessarily like sitting here bopping it all the time, but at the end of the day, my dude throws back into the community. So Jack Harlow, that's my guy. Hopefully he's a listener to the show.
Yeah, I think he does a lot of good, dude. This is definitely one of the better things. And if I can somehow find time this weekend to get to Carmichael's bookstore, because it's not that far from me, I just looked it up, I'll definitely stop in and pick up something random to support this.
And, there's two locations for Carmichael's. Actually, I like the one that's on, I think, Frankfurt Avenue. That's the one I used to go to fairly regular. So, guys, go check that out. That's definitely something that's really cool. So without further ado, it is time for Manga Madness. Hey, this week on Manga Madness, we are discussing Goku Ragi, Volume 1. There's never a shortage of crime around town, and a young boy searching for his Beastman friend is just another entry on a long list of missing person reports. However, Alma and Tao realize that they're the best chance at solving the case and destroy the vicious monsters waiting around every street corner. This manga released April 16th of 2024 and is about 184 pages long. And, want to encourage you to go and check that out. The first 20 pages are on Viz if you're interested in jumping into this one. I'll also be posting the link of this one on the Discord.
So I didn't get a chance to check out the preview earlier, and I'm looking at this now, and I'm just curious, is it the same? Is there a relation to the Demon Slayer story by chance? Maybe author, the artist? Because it looks very Demon Slayer to me.
It does. It definitely has a Demon Slayer vibe. When I was kind of looking at the artwork of this, the artwork is very clean. It just, you're right. I think Demon Slayer is a perfect comparison with this because it does have that clean artwork, very crisp, very nice. So it looks like a cool story. I read the first 10 pages of this one just to kind of get a little bit of a view of it, but definitely looks cool. You got a goofy main lead character dude, and you have like the super serious lady who wields a gun and smokes cigarettes. So what more could you want?
Yeah, dude, this looks awesome. If this gets animated, we might have to cover this on Anime Tofu.
You never know. You never know. You never know. All right, guys, give us just a few minutes. We're excited because we have a very, very special item for New Stuff Cafe. So be right back. Hello, everyone. We have a very, very special moment here at New Stuff Cafe. We're going to be talking about some talking points. This is all about the wasteland. We wanted to tackle some wasteland type foods because Fallout is the biggest thing happening right now. We felt like, hey, we have to at least talk about it. And what do they eat in Fallout? Well, Robert, tell us.
They eat whatever they can find. I tried to find some cheesy poofs at the store, but Justin said, no, man, we're going to eat canned, genetically altered meat with, I think it says mechanically removed chicken bits on the can somewhere along the way. So we're having Spam.
I love how, dude, I'm trying to bring energy to this right now. And my man, you're at the lowest of lows right now.
All right, guys, look, it's hard to be energetic about spam. I'm not going to lie to you, but we have it. Justin is a vegan. I didn't want my boy to miss out on this experience, so I found out they made plant-based spam. So here we are in the wasteland. We all found some spam. Now,
I crafted mine. I fried mine. Deep fried spam.
Bro, I love the poor man's hot dog, but did you take a slice of bread and fold it over? No, is that the heel of the loaf?
Bro, yeah, it is.
You're a monster, dude.
Both sides of the heel. Both sides of the heel. I fried it up. I put it on some.
This is truly diabolical. You are in the wasteland.
Honey wheat bread, bro. I fried this as much as you could. Maggie actually got mad at me. She walks downstairs and she goes, "Are you frying those vegan hot dogs again?"
My wife Veronica is out of town this week, and I'm left to my own devices. So I took the spam. I got a box of spaghetti noodles and some jarred sauce, and I made spam-getti. And I made a colossal mess. And then because I didn't want my spam to be cold, our stove has like a warming center, and I've never used it before. So I combined my spam-getti back in the pot, put it on the warming center, and I was like, what level do I need to put this on? So I put it on the highest level it goes to. My spam-getti is nuked. I'm talking these noodles were stuck to the pan. The spam looks like pancetta. So if it tastes like pancetta, I'll be happy.
Show us on the screen, bro. We'll see it.
Oh, dude, I covered this in so much.
That's a saucy looking guy right there.
No, I'm trying to cover up the taste of the spam. I put a whole jar of sauce in this bowl.
Dylan, keep it PG, but how are you eating yours, bro?
Well, gentlemen, I didn't quite go as all out on the project like you guys did. I don't know how to say this in PG terms, but I'm going to eat it straight out of the can. Just gonna go for it because I was reading on here. It says that it is fully cooked, ready to eat cold or hot. And I figured, why not? I'm gonna pair it with something. Now I scavenged all around the Walmarts, trying to find something that was Fallout themed. Unfortunately, I kind of just came up empty because I was moving quickly because I was just trying to make sure I was prepared. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to give this a try. I got the bourbon barbecue flavored Vienna sausages.
Hey, there you go.
So I actually used to like this as a kid. Why I liked it, I don't know. But I'm going to see if it tastes the same.
I liked them as a kid too, dude.
You did? Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, hopefully they still taste the same as they did. But.
Full disclaimer, I gave my dog Bennett a piece of spam while I was cooking it, and he ralphed all over my kitchen. So dude, this doesn't bode well for me.
I was on the phone. We were FaceTime. He had to show it to me on FaceTime. It looked like Bennett puked up a turd, really, is what the it was so gross. All right, here we go, boys. Skull. Here we go. Spam.
Skull. I'm having a hard time opening my can. Oh, God. Oh, my.
I will never eat this again.
Why does it smell like dog food?
It looks like dog food. Bro, when I was preparing mine, I was trying to get it out of the can. It just plopped straight.
I'm about to consume this.
Bro. Now, Justin, you took 2 bites of your vegetables. Bet it's good. This is not.
Your vegetables.
Here's the thing, bro. It's deep fried, bro. It's extra crispy. This isn't bad.
Bro, I can't even get this out of here. It just keeps.
You just have to pull a piece out with your fingers, bro.
Bro, that's what I'm trying to do. It literally just keeps tearing in half.
My lovely wife asked me why I was doing this today. And she said, "You've really never had spam, even as a kid." And I said, "No, my parents love me."
I feel like this is all together. Is this?
It is, dude. It's just a hunk, and it comes out.
It's a hunk. This is how it came out.
Whoa, dude! It comes, dude.
I was trying to pull a piece out.
It's not pieces, bro. It comes out now. It comes out looking like the can.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah,
One big chunk.
it's one big chunk.
Just
of
go ahead
spam.
and take go ahead, bro. Let's see it. No, bro.
This is so bad.
Dude. You taking a bite almost made me throw up. Mine's covered in sauce and it's still fat.
I got it on my hands.
Oh man, that's disgusting.
That is nasty. You got spam gunk on your fingers.
One bite's all I can do.
That's
Dude,
all
we found something that even Dylan will only take one bite of.
I'm gonna take
Dylan.
Take a Vienna sausage though.
Man,
Let's guess.
see if it's what you remember, bro.
I'm gonna take one more bite of spam just for science.
That's a lot better.
While we're recovering from our spam and Dylan's enjoying his Vienna sausages, let's go ahead and get into today's Fallout centered discussion. We're going to go into this is one of the biggest things happening on the planet right now, Fallout. Everybody's talking about it. You cannot go to a nerdy website, video game website, anywhere without seeing something about the Fallout television show right now. And so we wanted to go ahead and talk through it and cover it. Dylan has gone away. I'm worried I'm worried about our boy. Hopefully he's not
asking.
okay. I thought he was throwing up somewhere off the
No, I'm good.
But so we felt like, man, we got to cover it. We got to talk about it today. And so we're going to. So I got 4 talking points for us to discuss today. Let's go ahead and get right into it. All of us have watched at least one episode. Episode 1. What were your first impressions of this show?
My first impressions of Dylan, please don't ever show me that again. My first impression of the show is I think one thing they managed to nail was the tone of Fallout. I've played Fallout 1 through 3 in New Vegas, and the tone, like the comical, over-the-top violence, like the violence is just so insane you can't help but laugh at some of the scenes. Like they got the feel of the franchise right, and I hope the rest of the show continues in this direction. And keep in mind, I've only watched episode 1, but I have high hopes.
I agree. They really, really did a good job, like you said, capturing the tone, but also, I mean, everything from the music, you know, being like that whole 50s vibe of music to TVs. And it's interesting because, you know, this show takes place in the future, but yet it is very old school feeling. But these vaults are really, really, it's what I pictured vaults being like. It's very, very cool. Really, really enjoying this one so far. Robert, I know that we posted the question in the Discord for people to answer, and it seems like we had a lot of people feel the same exact way, that they really enjoyed the show and it captured the essence of Fallout.
I definitely agree with you guys about everything you're saying. I actually really enjoyed the beginning of Fallout 3 because I was thinking about whenever you were saying like how the vaults work. But I always thought the beginning of Fallout 3, because like you start off as like you're literally a child, and then you kind of like grow up, and it like kind of gives you a bit of a like an idea of what the vault life looks like. Mm-hmm. And so yeah, I definitely feel like the show was able to capture that really well, and then especially outside of the vault as well. I think like just how life was. What are you shaking your head for?
No, keep talking. You're making a lot of good points. I'm just distracted because Justin's still eating the spam.
Oh, anyway, but even like life outside of it, like outside of the vault, and then you know Lucy is like exploring everywhere, and like her interactions with someone. Like I thought it was really cool. Whenever she goes to the city, I forget the name of the city. I don't know how far you guys made it in the show, but I won't be too spoilery. But like it just reminded me of like it was a very accurate depiction, I feel like, of what the games look like as city wise. Like I was thinking of like Fallout 4 whenever you go to like Diamond City for the first time. Almost the whole setup of that city in the game was very similar to that, and it gave me a lot of vibes of Diamond City. So I thought that was really cool. Overall, I'm really enjoying it. I haven't quite finished it yet. I still have like 3 or 4, I think 3 more episodes before I'm able to finish it and watch it all the way through, but I'm really enjoying it so far. So,
do you have a favorite character, Robert?
My favorite character so far Again, I've only seen one episode. I'm going to say the Ghoul just because he's really cool. And I'm excited to see how he progresses as I watch more. And I actually have a least favorite also, Lucy's brother. That dude hid the entire time the vault was being raided. Didn't even try to throw hands once. Coward the entire time. Loser.
Honestly, I really like the main character. I like Lucy. I like the main character. Like, I think she's just a really cool character. That.
Okie dokie.
Next question.
Hey, I'm going to go with the Ghoul as well, aka Cooper Howard. That dude's legit. Could you, now this is a legit question, could you survive the wasteland? Dylan.
100%.
Without question. Next.
We have one last question here. Has this show influenced you to play any of the games?
I started Fallout 76 before we were getting ready to air the show, and I had to go cook spaghetti. I made a character, and I largely had zero interest in Fallout 76 forever, and probably still don't. But this show has made me go, man, I want to play a Fallout game, and I could play this Fallout game with my bros. So I downloaded it, made my character. I'm excited to jump back into Fallout. I've never touched Fallout 4. I tried it when it came out. The performance was terrible. But as of this recording, there's a free next-gen patch launching for everybody. So I may actually give Fallout 4 another shot thanks to this show. So yeah, dude, definitely has influenced me.
Yeah, I was definitely influenced. If you are in our Discord, I even sent like a little message in our Discord and saying that I was about to start, that the show is making me want to play it. So I was thinking about downloading Fallout 4, but I was like, you know what? I haven't really given Fallout 76 a chance, and a lot of people hate on it. So I'm going to see what that's all about. So I started playing that instead of actually finishing the show. I was playing Fallout 76. That's why I haven't finished it yet. So
you got Fallout 76 on PS5, bro?
Not yet. I'll get it though. If we're all gonna play it, I'll get it on PS5.
It's $8.
Listen, dude, we're all gonna venture into West Virginia and go and fight the Mothman. So let's go. That's for me. That's my answer. I've been playing 76 again. So, but it's weird because I didn't know how much I played that game. But me and a listener of the show, Austin Tucci, both bought the game at the same exact time back when it first dropped. And I was looking at my time played, and I played that game for like 38 hours. So, which isn't like a long time in the broad scheme of things, but that's way more than I thought I played. That's like, I don't know, 35 more hours than I thought I actually played that game. So there you go. I put some time in, but I've been playing Fallout 76. So looking forward to that. Guys, hope you guys are enjoying that show as well. Another thing that we've enjoyed, I believe, is this book that we're going to be talking about this week. So give us just a few moments. We're going to be right back, and we're going to be talking about Vengeful. If you've been with us for a while, you may remember episode 45 titled Vicious, Warhead Chug, and Madam Web, where we covered the first book in this series. We have good news for you. We are covering book 2 of this series, Vengeful by V.E. Schwab, and I encourage you to go check out that past episode if you haven't already. And Robert, go ahead and share with us a little bit about what Vengeful is about.
Like Justin said, this novel picks up where Vicious leaves off. So needless to say, this discussion is going to contain spoilers for both Vicious and Vengeful. And before I dive into what the sequel is about, I highly encourage all of you to check out Vicious. It's a fantastic novel. And in this universe, you're granted your superpowers after recovering from a near-death experience. Your last thoughts and your emotions play a large role in what power you receive. It's a quality twist on the superhero genre that I recommend everyone check out. With that said, we're going to dive into Vengeful. Skip this next segment if you don't want spoilers. Eli Ever is defeated. Victor Vale walks free, but at a price. Brought back to life by Sidney Clark at the end of Vicious, Victor finds himself dying over and over again. Victor sets off on a path to find a cure, another EO who can get rid of the sickness that being brought back to life has wrought on him. Meanwhile, new players enter the game. Marcella Riggins, left for dead by her mob boss husband with the ability to ruin anything she touches. June, a shapeshifter able to take the form of anyone she comes into contact with. They all have their own motivations, and they all have to be on the lookout as Director Stell, now free from Serena Clark's control, has started his own government group to track down and capture EOs with the help of Eli Ever. No one is safe and Vengeful.
Hey, this one's tagged fantasy, urban fantasy, superheroes, and thriller.
Yeah, dude, just jumping in. I think the author V. Schwab, who's quickly become one of my favorite authors, she built upon the fantastic world of Vicious with these new characters with interesting and unique powers. And the story flows much the same way as the first one. You have your flashbacks and your present time chapters. There's a lot of time jumping in between. It worked in the first book, and I think the format succeeds here as well.
Yeah, I love the idea of how you'll start. It's like 1 year ago, and then you're seeing kind of everything work backwards. And I really, really do like that. And you talked a little bit about pacing just a second ago. Man, these chapters are like, hey, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, This is the perfect book if you are a person who is busy and you just have lunch breaks or quick breaks at work or whatever, and you just want to jump in and get something done in 5 to 10 minutes and read a chapter and be able to put it down. We're in a good spot for a pause. It may take you a while to get through it because there's I don't know how many, I can't remember exactly how many chapters, but it's a lot of chapters, but they're all so short. Great pacing in this.
Yeah, I think there might be close to 100 chapters because I was listening to the audiobook and reading the novel. And at one point, the audiobook was like chapter 88, Roman numeral, whatever, because it breaks the story up into 4 parts.
Yeah.
And I was just like, man, 88 chapters. But like Justin said, if you're on audiobook, the longest chapter was 15 minutes.
96 chapters, bro.
Wow. They're all short.
They are.
But they move quick. Stuff happens in them. You get engaged with the characters. Author did a really good job here.
Yep.
And the first half of this book is similar to the first half of Vicious, where it's kind of from Victor Vale's point of view. So like he's resurrected and he's tracking all these EOs. He's kind of become Eli, who he hated in the first book because Eli's just out here killing EOs because he thought they were abomination. Well, Victor's killing them once they don't serve him a purpose anymore. And every time he dies, he stays dead longer. And I think if he hits a threshold, it's like 6 minutes, he can face severe brain damage. So he's like racing against the clock in the book to try and cure this. And I thought that was an interesting motivation for the character.
Unfortunately, I was not able to finish the book completely. But so far I have really enjoyed reading it, or at least as far as I was able to get in it. I thought the opening chapter about what is her name, Marcella?
Yeah.
Is that right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, like that whole story about like her husband, like it kind of took me by surprise reading that. Like I was like, whoa.
Yeah. That
was like more intense than I was expecting. Like even after reading Vicious, like I felt like the book just came out swinging. So that was definitely interesting. And then of course, like I was only able to get like the like part of the story with obviously Victor having to deal with like dying and come back into life. And he was like on his little rampage of trying to figure out how to fix that and everything. So, so far I've really enjoyed it. I plan on finishing it. It just might take me a little bit. Unfortunately, I hate to disappoint our listeners that were expecting me to read it this week. But life gets busy and stuff happens. So, but I enjoyed it so far.
Absolutely, dude. And I just want to expand on Marcella Riggins for a moment. You talked about her like in the opening chapter. Her power is she is the opposite of Eli, where Eli can regenerate no matter what. She just destroys everything she touches. She turns people to ash. She takes a glass and turns it into sand. She breaks everything down to its base components with a single touch. And she was a really awesome new character and a solid villain for like this universe.
You know what I think of when I read this book? And that just came to me. And in my mind, I think I always kind of pictured this because this book feels so dark. But you guys remember the movie Sin City?
Yeah, absolutely. Frank Miller.
This book just kind of has a Sin City vibe because, you know, even in Sin City, it's just a constant cut back and forth until all the characters somehow combine together. This book's exactly like that. You know, there's just so many different paths that are leading them all to the same place, but they're all living their own thing, you know, but it have motives that are for different reasons or whatever. Do you guys have a favorite scene? Which Dylan, I think you kind of mentioned yours already, was the beginning. I agree. What a great opening, really. like she doesn't pull punches in her writing anyway. I feel like, but this one for sure, that first opening scene is a very, very dark and kind of crazy.
All right. And my favorite scene is going to be there's like a mad scientist in this book named Dr. Haverty, and he's cutting EOs open. So, like, he has Eli. Eli's captured by Eon, an agency specifically created to capture EOs, led by Detective Stell from the first book. Well, Detective Stell didn't know Dr. Haverty's like cutting Eli open and experimenting on him. And in one scene, he actually he's testing the powers of Eli's regeneration, and he rips this man's heart out of his chest and he's just holding it in his hand. And Eli can feel all this pain. Like, he's not immune to the pain. He just heals through it. So, like, you're inside this guy's head while he's being dissected, essentially, and going through all the emotions he's going through while it's happening. And for about 3 seconds, I almost felt bad for Eli until I remembered who he is. So, yeah, I mean, it was definitely a gruesome, like, Mortal Kombat fatality-esque scene in the book.
See, I have a favorite scene, but I'm worried it will spoil things for Dylan, since Dylan hasn't gotten to this point yet. But I'll just say it's Marcella, and it's her comeback.
Oh, yeah.
You'll know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I don't want to get too crazy with that because Dylan, I feel like that scene's epic. I mean, wouldn't you say, Robert? I mean, it's also the ending of some characters that you're like, whoa, I kind of expected a little more out of this, but
it's a really, really, really good scene. I know what you're talking about. 100%. Dylan, if you do find the time, I definitely recommend you finish the book. I'll refrain from being more spoilerific with some of these discussions. And this book gave me Silence of the Lamb vibes, like where you got Clarice working with Hannibal Lecter to track down Buffalo Bill. This kind of happens with Stell and Eli. Like, Eli is working with Stell to help him find these EOs from prison, essentially. And it just felt so much like Silence of the Lambs to me. And the whole time I was like, dude, you know Hannibal's going to escape when you're watching that movie. And part of the tension is like the when and the how. I felt that the entire time I was reading this book. I was like, okay, how's Eli going to get out of this? How's he going to do it? It was cool, dude.
Do you feel any different about Victor or Eli from the first book? I know, and we left the first book, and I think all of us agreed that really both of these guys were pretty corrupt anyway. There really isn't like a good guy, but I think we left the last book saying we were all Team Victor if we had to choose. Like, if you're stuck choosing, do you guys feel any different after this one? Feel the same? Where you at?
The author tried to make you relate to Eli more. Like, you got a lot more of Eli's backstory as a kid and what he went through in this book.
Yeah.
And I still hate him. I hate him, and I hate Victor even more now. I don't like Victor at all. Completely irredeemable character after this book. Honestly, she could have just left Victor and Eli out of this book and wrote a new story in the universe.
Yeah, they're both trash humans. Or
they are.
EOs or whatever you want to say. All right, guys, you ready for the 1 minute drill? All right, so every week we're going to develop 5 to 6 questions based on the book. Everyone gets 1 minute each to answer the questions. Once your time is done, it is done. I am actually going to keep a timer just to keep us true to this, okay? First up, what's your favorite new character power?
For me, it was June. I was unsure like what June's motivations throughout the novel were, and even really after it ended. But she had the ability to shapeshift into anyone she touched unless they were an EO. So this kind of allowed her to detect EOs in a crowd. But the coolest aspect of her shapeshifting ability, if she took damage in the form of someone else, the original person suffered the wound. Like if she gets shot in the chest, the person she shapeshifted is the one who's suffering the bullet wound. Like, it is rad. And then there's a scene where she shapeshifts to the appearance of Angie Knight, Victor's secret love and Eli's girlfriend from the first book. And I looked into that after I finished the book because I was like, was June Angie Knight? No, but it was a running theory amongst the fans, and the author had to come out and be like, nah, that's not Angie. But that's cool, dude. I loved it.
It's June. Come on, dude. She definitely has the coolest power. You know, when I think about some of these so many of the other powers have such terrible effects, you know, like if you've got Marcella's power, like to do those things, like I would never use it. But June's like, come on, just go around shape shifting and have some fun with that. That'd be awesome. So she definitely has the best new power, at least in this episode, in this show. Eli I still think is the goated.
Oh yeah.
He's got the best one. All right, here we go. Second, of all the rivals in movies, video games, and comics, who would you compare Victor, Vale, and Eli ever to? And I want to go first.
Okay.
I want to see if you are going to guess the same one as me. Okay. Are you ready? I'm going to say Light and L.
Dude, that's amazing. I have two completely different rivals, but I love yours.
Because I just thought of them because of the way, if you've seen the show Death Note or the movie even or whatever, Light and L are constantly in each other's heads, going back and forth. It's this mind game of just messing with each other constantly. And that just is kind of how I picture their relationship is with Victor and Eli the whole entire time. So I'm definitely going with those two guys.
Yours is definitely better than mine. I actually had two. I have Magneto and Professor X.
Oh, that's good.
Two powerful mutants, two very different ideas about how mutants should coexist with the rest of humanity. I could kind of draw that parallel with Victor and Eli in a sense. And then from video games, I had Solid Snake and his brother Liquid Snake from Metal Gear Solid.
That's good too.
Liquid harbors all this resentment to Solid because he thought Solid Snake ended up with superior genes. So it led to him seeking revenge the whole time and wanting to kill Solid to reclaim his birthright. And I kind of got that from these guys too.
That's good. Dylan, do you have an answer for this one?
I actually do, which I feel like my answer isn't quite as good as Robert's. I feel like that Professor X and Magneto one is like almost perfect. But I was gonna go with Captain America and Iron Man. Not necessarily in the sense of like, obviously neither of these guys are terrible people. I mean, they make their mistakes, but at the end of the day, like, these guys are heroes. But I feel like the dynamic of like they believe that they're correct and what they're doing is the right thing to do, and standing by that. And like they're also people that's like it's hard to pick a side. Like if you had to pick between the two, who would you go with? And I feel like between Victor and Eli, it's like it's very hard to choose a side. So I feel like that was somewhat kind of close.
All right, Robert, you first. Who would you cast for Victor and Eli?
As a TV show or movie, I'm going to cast Victor and Eli as the two dudes from Vampire Diaries. I'll take Ian Somerhalder as Victor and Paul Wesley as Eli. And then
which one of those is which?
Damon is Ian and Paul is Stefan.
Okay, gotcha.
Who I choose as Eli. And then even further, since I have time, Millie Bobby Brown to play Sydney Clark from Stranger Things, and her sister Serena would be Taylor Swift, and I would cast myself as Mitch.
Dylan, do you have an answer for this?
I'm going to answer this because the two guys that I have in mind actually have played in a movie together, and they were brothers in the movie. And the movie is actually literally called Brothers, and that is Tobey Maguire and Jake Gyllenhaal. And so I think they would be really good playing both of these characters. I think
who was that again?
Tobey Maguire and Jake Gyllenhaal. I think Jake Gyllenhaal is Victor and Tobey Maguire is Eli.
Bro. First off, dude. Okay. I have Jake Gyllenhaal as Victor.
Wow. Perfect.
So I have two. I have two from different age groups. So Jake Gyllenhaal I have for Victor, but then if he was Victor, my Eli for that movie would be Tom Hardy.
Nice.
And then on the opposite, the other two I have for Victor would be Joaquin Phoenix, and then the other would be Edward Norton for Eli.
I love it, dude.
I think those two, but Jake Gyllenhaal, dude, I thought that immediately. Mm-hmm. Like when we were talking through this, because sometimes when he plays like a darker character, like that's got some like inner turmoil, or he can kind of be like that kind of jerk type character, like what what I think anyway, Victor portrays. So, dude, that's crazy. Jake Gyllenhaal for sure.
It has to be Jake Gyllenhaal as Donnie Darko, right? Because it can't be jacked Roadhouse Jake Gyllenhaal.
All right, here we go. All right, guys, in your opinion, let's go with Dylan on this first, since you are the OBB comic expert of our show here at the Nerdy Reads podcast. Is this novel for comic fans?
Oh, dude, 100%. I mean, it's about superheroes. It's not your everyday comic superhero necessarily, but I do think if you're a superhero fan or a comic fan in general, I definitely think you can find some entertainment in this.
Did you feel like this book enhances Vicious, or were you satisfied with Vicious as a standalone novel, Robert?
I feel like anytime you get more of a good thing, that's good as long as it stays true to the story's original vision. And I felt this book enhanced the first one by offering a more fleshed out view of Eli that tried to help the reader empathize with them more. I also feel like it introduced new characters that were meaningful and impactful. One thing I will say that I feel like this story could have stood alone as its own story in this universe without Eli and Victor. Like maybe we could have had more Marcella and June and, more backstory with them. But overall, yeah, I think it's a good enhancement.
I'm going to go ahead and take the angle of this. I thought the first novel was amazing. Thought it was really, really good. I thought the ending tied the bow right there. Like, sure, there was some areas that she could go with it to expand it. And she did in this book. This book is a success in my mind, but also I think I would have been just fine reading the first one and kind of being done with it. Not to say that this book is not worth reading though, because I think I would have enjoyed this more if Eli and Victor were not a part of it. I believe that this universe could stand to kind of get away from those two dudes and start to focus on some other characters, because my favorite parts of this book were actually never when they were there. So it's one of those things. I think for me, the first book was amazing with them two as the leads, but I would have probably liked this one more if they wouldn't have been the lead.
I'll echo that that Vicious did end on a really good note. And that's, to me, that kind of makes this book feel less complete than Vicious, because I won't spoil anything for Dylan, but Vengeful just kind of unwraps the bow and is like, okay, well, now I'm leaving this wide open. Yeah. And it's like, is there a third book? Because I was doing research into this and I read that she had an idea for 3 books, but she combined book 2 and 3 into this story, which is probably why some characters don't feel fully fleshed out. But definitely, dude, and that story I talked about with the EO Charlotte earlier, like, give me a book on that. Let me read about the EO who can see into the future and sees how she's going to die and she wants to try and prevent it. Like, I know Eli is the catalyst for that, but you don't need Eli and Victor, man. This book would have been good without him.
Yep. All right, let's close this thing up. I want to hear 3 words. Your 3 words to describe this story. Robert.
Superheroes without heroes.
I don't know if I can follow it up. I feel like that was just a solid description right there. I don't think I would change. I think that was perfect, to be honest, what Robert just said.
That was a lot more than 3 words. Diabolical, Gem, and Death Note.
How was it more than 3 words? Superheroes hyphenated without heroes.
I was talking about Dylan.
Okay.
Well, you came to your own defense, bro. Boy, it doesn't take much, man. You say one little thing, I can tell I love it too. I can see by your face you were ready.
Hold on, bro.
You're like, hold up, bro. Whoa. How's it more than 3 words? Like, bro.
Sorry, let me do it again
for no reason.
Let me try it
As
again.
per usual.
I'm going to try it again. Okay.
My bad, boss man Jay.
What Robert said.
All right. Perfect. All right, guys, give us just a minute. We'll be right back for nerdy news.
All right. That just, okay. I was trying to go in and I was like, nope. All right, it's time for nerdy news. Every time you tune into an episode of the Nerdy Reads podcast, we go over some of the latest news in the Nerdverse. And the first thing that we like to go over is our sighting. So this week is a sighting that happened back in 2020, May of 2020. 11-year-old Ruby Reynolds and her father, Justin, were fossil hunting on Blue Anchor Beach in Somerset, England, when they discovered a fragment of a Titanic beast. This beast is called I don't know if I'm saying this right, an Ichthyosaurus. I hope
it's called an Ichthyosaurus. That's what I hope.
It's Ichthyosaurus. I don't know. Robert, you sent this link to me. So is that how you say it? Or do you know?
I don't know, but I like the way you pronounced it. So let's go with that.
I'm going with Ichthyosaurus, okay? They stumbled upon this fossil, on the beach. Apparently this thing, yikes. Apparently this thing was like 82 feet long, and it lived like back when the dinosaurs were a thing, and it's like an ocean reptile. It was the description of this thing. So, Ruby Reynolds and her father come across an Ichthyosaurus in May of 2020. I'll have the link to all that information if you want to see it for yourself in our Discord. So be sure to join that and check it out.
I sent that because I think it's cool. Some little girl and her dad's just on the beach chilling, and bam, look at this discovery they made. Love it.
That is cool. And I love the fact that it's called Ichthyosaurus.
Hey, bro. If you want to see the Ichthyosaurus, it's in the Discord right now, so go check it out. Robert, you got a pronunciation official?
Ichthyosaur.
I'm going with Ichthyosaurus. Anyway, our next piece of news: Lowe's Coffee and Fallout are teaming up to bring three new flavors, as well as a limited edition Fallout themed mug. So go over to their website to check these out. Their flavors include Valiant Vanilla, which is a vanilla flavor; Atomic Apple, which is an apple pie flavor; and Wasteland Crunch was the chocolate candy bar flavor. And also, they offer a Spider-Man flavor called Web Slinger. I only say that because the latest episode of Optic Blast Broadcast was all about Spider-Man, so shameless plug there for you. Also, with sticking to the Fallout theme, since we've been talking a lot about Fallout, Jones Soda also dropped a Fallout-themed flavor alongside their already existing Nuka-Cola Quantum. They're bringing us the newly released Nuka-Cola Victory, and the Fallout website, the official Bethesda gear website. You can go over there and get the limited edition backpack that's based on Lucy's Vault 33 backpack from the show. So that's a lot of stuff. But I mean, guys, are you going to check any of this stuff out?
Oh, dude, on Nerdy Reads, if we can get a hold of Nuka-Cola, I don't see how that's not a New Stuff Cafe.
I feel like that's a definite New Stuff Cafe item. If we can get a hold of that, I'm in.
And Dylan talking about the Fallout collectibles, I just pulled this bad boy from the vault of my collection. Here we have the Fallout 3 Collector's Edition that came in the Vault Tech lunchbox.
I love that.
From back in the day, dude.
Anything that's Fallout related right now, my hype for that show and games right now is so fever pitched that if it's something Fallout related, I'm at least going to check it out. If we can get Nuka-Cola, I'm in 100%.
Same.
Yeah, dude. I think they just, I want to say Arizona also has a Fallout themed drink that they just released. I don't know what it's called. I think it's just called Arizona Vault Tech that they just restocked. You can get that on Amazon as well. But going into our next piece of news, you already know I had to talk about it. It is the new Deadpool and Wolverine trailer that just dropped this past week. And dude, there's a lot going on, but I don't want to go too much into it because I'll be here all day probably talking about it, nerding out over it. But we already know some of the stuff that's kind of happened from the previous trailer. Deadpool essentially kind of is like under the impression, for whatever reason we don't really know yet, I don't think, he's going to lose his whole world. So he goes to Logan or Wolverine for help, which in this trailer we get to see a lot more Wolverine, which is awesome, especially in his classic blue and yellow suit. He's also, so like there's a lot of rumors going around about him possibly being a variant that's not going to be the original Fox X-Men version of Wolverine that we see. And the reason why is because people are like, throughout the trailer you can hear a lot of people saying like Wolverine like failed his world. There's like a bartender that says you're not welcome here in this bar in the new trailer. There's a show where like he's at the TVA and some dude's like, oh, you failed your world. And then even Deadpool himself says like he failed or his world went to crap or whatever. Now, if you watch Logan and if you're up to date on all of the X-Men Fox stuff, like like the X-Men are essentially dead, and so like you can probably, maybe that might be why they're talking like that, but I'm pretty sure that's not what they're referencing, I think. But he also looks a little younger in some of the clips than he does in Logan, so which I mean that could obviously be because maybe these are events happen that that happened before Logan or something like that. But I think personally, I think the better answer, I guess you would say, would be that it's probably just a variant, especially because at the end they jump into a multiversal portal, and so. And of course, all the connections with the TVA, there's more than likely going to be another variant of him if this isn't, the original Fox X-Men. So, Wolverine. So I don't know. I'm interested to see how it turns out. Definitely check out the trailer if you have not already. The movie comes out July 26th, and we will definitely be talking about it whenever it drops.
I could see it being the Fox version of Wolverine because that trailer, first off, rad that their base is Ant-Man's skull. Second, I saw a lot of the old Fox X-Men in that trailer. Like Lady Deathstrike was in there. Who else? Like Callisto, is that her name? I saw her in there. Yeah, dude.
I'll say this: the trailer for this movie. I don't get hyped over movies very often. Like Dune because I really liked the first Dune. I was hyped for Dune 2. But after that, it doesn't. I mean, most of the trailers I've seen recently, I'm just like, oh, that looks cool. But this one, I'm actually like pretty stoked for. This looks really, really cool. This kind of revitalized my excitement for comic movies again.
Yeah, that's good. I'm definitely hyped because there was a lot of cameos and stuff, but I'm really interested in see what the plot is and like how it's going to work out, for sure. And like I said, I think it could be a variant of some sort. I think it'd be very interesting than seeing the usual Fox version of Wolverine that we've been seeing. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see how it goes, I guess.
Exciting stuff. Robert, you know what time it is?
I guess it's time for What's Hot. We here at the Nerdy Reads podcast can't read everything, so I try and highlight a book that's popular out there in the book world for you, the listener. And this week, that's going to be If the Tide Turns by Rachel Ruker. Sorry if I butchered your last name. This one's set during the golden age of pirates and the shadow aftermath of the Salem witch trials. This story is inspired by real-life pirate Samuel Bellamy, combining high seas adventure with star-crossed longing and questions about social justice and freedom. This is an emotionally satisfying tale of a strong-willed young woman determined to choose her own path. It's sitting at 4.09 out of 5 on Goodreads. It's tagged historical fiction, pirates, and fantasy.
All right, I'm interested in this.
Bro, I highlighted this one. It's a new one just released this week. Specifically because of my boy, the pirate lover.
That was a weird thing to say, but all right.
Hey, dude, if the Nerdy Reads podcast was a pirate ship, you'd definitely be the captain.
Hey, wow. Thanks, buddy.
You're welcome.
You know how that makes me feel.
Yeah.
That's how it makes me feel.
The spam's nasty looking, bro.
That looked
It's starting to turn.
It must have a shelf life once you open the can and fresh air hits it. It starts to mutate.
I mean, they're still eating spam in the vault, though, and Fallout, though, 200 years later. So that's
they call it cram.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, guys, coming up next on the Nerdy Reads podcast, we're going to once again go to a galaxy far, far away with our obligatory May the 4th episode. Join us as we read Book 2 in the highly acclaimed Thrawn series, Dark Force Rising by Timothy Zahn. And hey, I may even watch Star Wars Rebels for this one. Find a couple episodes here and there. And also be sure to get your votes in for our Nerdy Reads May Book Club selection. You have until May 1st to pick between Ready Player One, Hunger Games, and Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. We will announce the winner on next week's episode. You can find that poll on our Facebook or in our Discord. The link will be fresh as of tomorrow.
Guys, listen, this is a close one so far. It's really, really tight between Hunger Games and Ready Player One. So if you have a preference, every vote counts.
I know our boy Keaton really wants Ready Player One.
All right, Kiwi. We better get all your friends to go vote then, Brett.
It's real close, yeah.
All right, friends. This has been a really fun episode. I've enjoyed it. I hope that you have too. We talked about Vengeful. We tried Spam, which didn't go too well for my two comrades over there. My spam, deep fried spam sandwich wasn't wasn't terrible. But we talked about Fallout, the biggest thing going on in the Nerdverse today. We had a Manga Madness. There's a lot of cool things coming up, including the book club like Robert talked about. Robert, where can they learn more about that?
You can learn more about that on our Facebook, Instagram, and Discord at the Nerdy Reads Podcast. In the Discord and on our Facebook, you'll find a link to the Fable app where you can read along with us and discuss the book for our book club selection.
And hey, we know a lot of times people have reached out to us, are asking, hey, how can I help the show? Do you guys have a Patreon? Do you have all that stuff? Well, we don't. We don't have anything like that. We're not a show that takes money at the current moment. And what we would love for you to do, though, if you want to help out the show, if you want to support us in any way, shape, or form, go tell a friend about the show. It really, really helps us out. The more listeners we get, the more fun it is, I guess, the bigger our community grows. We can do book clubs with more people. Our Discord is continuing to grow. More conversations are happening in there. We just love to see our community grow together and people have conversations together. So it's a lot of fun. So we encourage you to go and share the Nerdy Reads podcast with a friend this week. That'd be awesome. Thank you so much in advance. So before we leave, we cannot, will not, and should not close out a show without some advice from our very own sweet baby Dylan.
Listen,
I'm scared, dude. His face already is telling me this is going to be unhinged.
if you're being chased by an animal, just lay down on the ground for 5 seconds, because the 5 second rule will save you.
Dylan, I feel like you are a saboteur of joy.
Boy, hey guys, sighting of the week has been elevating to like S tier. We're at S tier for sightings of the week. Advice from Dylan, we're getting close to that C tier range right now.
We might have to fire Dylan.
Hey guys, here on the Nerdy Reads podcast, we enjoy a good story. We believe that your story matters. So be good to each other and stay nerdy, our friends. Say bye, Dylan.
Bye.